This is the fly we're going to tie. It's a stonefly, but it's on a salmon style hook. Something you don't normally see. This is a Partridge, Bartleet, size 4. It's got a great shape to it that I think that really works for a stonefly. I think we're even going to change this one up a little bit. I think I might change the body, but other than that, I'm going to change the color of the body. I'm going to do like a black gray body. I really like this hook because it's thin, and when it's thin, you can do a lot with it. When it's thick, it's tough to work with because it ends up being just huge when you're done with it. So first we're going to make the shape, and it's sort of like a a tapered shape that we're going to do here. And we're going to use sticky back lead. It comes in these sheets like this. One side's tape, the other side's lead. And we're going to put it on here, and we're going to wrap it. Make sure that the turns touch. If they overlap, it can get a little out of whack. And then we'll just start a little bit further up. See that? I'm going to go over it again. And go up again a little bit further up. So we're making the tapered shape by just moving up the hook. Go up a little bit further again. You also want to use a little bit thicker of or wider of a piece of this lead as you get further up. I mean, as you make the body, because it's going to get thicker. Then what you can do here is that this looks like a good shape. Then if it's rough like this, what you can do is just smooth it out by putting on one more piece at the beginning. That's it. It's pretty smooth right there. Okay, we're going to use 6/0 uni. You can use 3/0 if you want. I wouldn't use 8/0 only because it'll just take forever to tie. I'm going to tie on right in front of this lead, and when we wrap this, we want to go pretty light around it, because if you pull too tight on this, you're going to deform the lead. Right around the barb. is where we're going to stop. We're going to put just a little bit of black dubbing. This one happens to be Lopsy Rabbit in black. Just a little bit, and we're going to just use this to separate the buyouts that we're going to put on. So after the dubbing, we're going to use goose buyout for the tail. And this goose, this turkey's pretty big. You don't have to use that for this. I think turkey's better for wrapping bodies. So we're going to want to put it on. This can be a little bit tricky. You want to put it so the curve is up. See that? Take another one, curve up like that. And try and trim it so that it like completes this taper back here. Alright, now for the body we're going to use this stuff, larva lace. And we're going to use a strip of gray, like a dark gray, and a strip of black. We take the end, here's what larva lace is, right? It comes in these, like that. I had this forever and I never knew what to use it for. This is the first fly I ever used it on. So it's like a hollow tube and it stretches. So what you want to do is you want to take this end right here and just with a razor blade, just kind of cut it real skinny. There's the black one. We're just going to take off the end. And we're doing that so that it ties on a little bit thinner, but also because it's going to give us a taper in the beginning. So there's our two pieces, black and gray. I think I'm going to tie the black one on first. Just at the end. Just at the end. Then you want to do when you tie it on, you want the cut side, the rough side facing you. So then when you turn it, it puts the cut side down. And we're just going to look at this taper a little bit. This is why 3/0 sometimes is better, because it's just easier to make a taper. I think that's good. Okay. Alright, so let's just make sure that this is all covered up nice. We want to go about halfway. Halfway is probably good. Let's look at this one. Right. Yeah, it looks like that. Looks like a little bit. You know, maybe a turn further. Alright, now to make a double one, you can do both at the same time, which I want to try, but I'm not sure if it's going to work. You also want to make sure when you turn these things, they're right next to each other. Okay. I think my tail's just twisted on me. Take a look. You got to make sure you don't overlap it. That can be, you can overlap it really, really easily if you're not paying attention when you got two of these things together. Just keep an eye on it. Okay, I think that's where I want to end it, right there. So we're going to come across and make sure it's in there good. And then we cut it close. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to get some dubbing. The dubbing we're going to use here is just a little bit of seal's fur. Just a little bit. And if you don't have seal's fur, that's fine. So you can use whatever you want. There's a lot of imitation, but anything kind of straggly and long. So if you want to brush it out to make more legs, you can. So we're just going to go right at the beginning there and just cover up the first bit. Maybe even a little bit more, to be honest with you. You could also just use the rabbit too. The rabbit works great as well. Okay, so the legs we're going to use are these. Kind of goes with the body a little bit. So these are, what are these things? Spirit River. Yeah, Spirit River. Size medium. So we're going to just go like 4 bars. Let's see how that is. Like, that's like 4 bars. Wrap it on there. Well, at least try to. Or I miss. So, okay. That's good. 3 turns is fine. Then cut it. Leave yourself just like a small amount, 1/16 of an inch or something, so that you can tie on. Then match it up on this side. That's good. Okay. That's good. Loose turns as you put these things in, then tighten them down, because if you go tight right away, they just flare up and it becomes really annoying. That's okay. This fly, it's not that hard, it's just long. It's a long fly. It's a long fly. Watson's downstairs playing with a squeaky toy. I don't know if you hear that. So then we're just going to put some more dubbing on, and this'll keep the legs back, which I want to keep them back. I don't really want them to flare out. So now we're going to get a piece of foam. This is 2mm foam. This happens to be something I bought a TV one time, and in the box was this black foam, shiny on one side, actually shiny on two sides. This is all I got left right here. This is it. I wish I remember what TV it was, and I'd buy it again, because it's hard to find this shiny foam. So we're going to cut a piece like, I don't know, 1/4 inch wide, something like that, like this. I'm going to take a razor blade, make sure it's sharp, and all we're going to do is cut because it's 2mm and we actually want it really thin. We want it thin. We don't want it 2mm, we want it 1mm. See that? Usually when you cut these things in half, you never cut them in half, so just take the thinner side. And then we're going to cut a little triangle into it. Right into the end. Like that. See that? That's the shiny side. Because now you got a shiny side and a coarse side. You want the shiny side up. You can also, if you want, just take the points off of it. Like that. So now we tie it in. It doesn't need to be that long. Do a couple loose turns just to see how it looks. Make sure it's straight. That's good. Then don't cut it too close because you need some foam to tie in. Tie it in good. Make sure it's straight. Looks straight to me. Now, get your dubbing out again. When you put this on, make sure it lines up with the dubbing you put already on there, so you don't have any gaps. Looks like my loose turns in the beginning got a little really loose because I didn't go all the way up. Let's just clean this up here. Okay. All right, now back to the legs. when you put these on, don't make them too short. There's no lengthening these things. There is no lengthening them. Dubbing again. This is probably too much dubbing. All I'm trying to do is just hold these legs back. Okay. Back to the foam. Again, we're going to cut a triangle into it. Just round off those corners. Then what we want to do is we want to put it just where the dubbing ends. See that? Oh, you can hear Watson again now, maybe. Okay. That's all right. It's okay. Let's trim it again. Just gotta make sure it's straight. That's the most important thing. And you also gotta check it often because if they tend to walk on you. They look perfect then, you know, right now, and then they end up walking on you, and next thing you know, it's completely perfect. So, now we'll go back to the dubbing. Easy, but long. This fly, easy, but long. That's real rough. We don't want that. That's too rough. A little bit more. Okay. One more shot with the legs. One more set of legs. There's a leg sticking out there, but it's going to get covered, fortunately, so it's not a big deal. Okay. A little more dubbing, just to tuck those legs back. Now we're going to do the thorax. Foam again. This time we're going to cut it into like a little point like this, just to tie it in. The core side needs to be up because we're going to wrap it like that. So that's it. Make sure this is tied in good. Okay, so now to create that orange thread right there, to create that orange thread, see that? We gotta do something a little bit annoying, just for a little line, but we're gonna switch to orange right here, right? This is orange 8-0. Orange 8-0 uni and orange 6-0 uni are different colors. The one you want, or at least the one I use, is the 8-0. I'd rather have 6-0, but the color is different. So, make sure this is straight here. And so we're going to do two things now. We're going to cover up this orange with a black marker. All this orange thread that's on here now. Because I'm going to put dubbing down. I don't want any of the orange to show through. So it helps to just cover this up as best as you can. And then color the thread black. I know we just took off the black thread to put on orange, and now we're coloring this black, but it's going to make sense in 2 seconds why we do this. Okay. Then we get more dubbing. This time I'm going to use seal's fur, but I'm also going to use a little bit of that rabbit too. Just mix it up in my hands here like this. Okay. So you see now why we need the black thread. The black colored thread, I guess, in this case. We don't want that orange to show through. And so then we're going to just go back until it kind of just turns in. Then we're going to look to see, well, this is what I'm doing now. I'm looking to see where the black ends and the orange starts. That's what we want. So we want to make it so that once we start turning this on, now it turns orange. And that's the only orange you now see. If you look through here, one turn, not right here, you don't see any orange anywhere. At least I don't think. And if you do, there might be one here. Oh, it's the thread that I tried coloring up as best as I could. And then you just hit it with the black marker. That's perfect. Now, we're just going to keep going on this. We want it to be real thick. Every once in a while, double check underneath. It looks okay, I think. Yeah. We want this line to be pretty solid. Then we're going to whip finish right here. Right? And then we just check everything. It looks okay. And then we got this piece here. Now we're going to cut this. I'm going to cut it pretty long at first, just so I can see. I want to get it totally right. So it's definitely got to go back. See the V in this? It's got to go back past that. I'm just going to take off a little bit at a time until I feel like I like it. Then I'm going to hit the corners. I'm going to wash my legs, and that's it. Might be a little bit pointy here, but I'm going to take this off. And then we just get add cement. I put a little bit on a bobbin, and I just turn this. There it is. That's it. It's a Stonefly on a Salmonfly hook. It's a little bit rough here. This might be a little bit rough. And if you want it rougher, you can hit it with a brush. A little bit rough is good, but if you're using seal's fur, you know that it could go a little rough to extremely rough very quickly. So I think that's good. There's a piece back here. All right, perfect. Thank you.